All right, upcoming horror movies. October is upon us. So we are going to start at the end of September here with September 29th to October 5th. But here we go, guys. October is officially here, and it's time to talk about the horror movies that are coming out in the first week of October. So, all right, on the 29th, tomorrow, we'll be seeing it tonight. Saw X, the most obvious thing coming out in the next week. I don't really need to tell you what this is about. It's the 10th installment in the Saw franchise. You're either a fan and you're excited, or you're not. And you don't need me to tell you whether or not you're going to be excited for this one. But if you are a fan of the more original Saws, or even Saw 6, this one seems to be much more in line with that than the last few entries like Spiral and Jigsaw. So if you're a fan of like the original Saws, this one might get you more excited than the last couple have for sure. So there you go. Tomorrow in theaters. If you're excited, definitely go support it. I can't wait. All right. A lot of these are on the 29th. So here we go. 29th as well. Deliver Us. Now, I've seen that this is getting a theatrical run, and I looked and there is showings around me, but it will also be on VOD same day. And this is about a nun in a convent who claims that she has an immaculate conception currently gestating in her tummy, and they are twins, and she claims one is good and one is evil. So, of course, they come to investigate that. So, if you're into nun type movies, this might be a good one for you. All right, next up, also on the 29th, 1031 Part 3. This is the anthology series that has a Elvira-esque character who introduces these. This one has 4 new stories to tell. The franchise overall, for me, that I've seen, they're really low budget, but you know, there could be some fun to be had. So if you're a fan of anthologies and you don't mind low budget films, then you know, you can definitely support this. This one has been out now for quite a while on its DVD Blu-ray release that they, you know, released originally. But we are finally getting it as an available option for VOD here so long after the release on DVD and Blu-ray. I think it was like almost a year or so. It's been out for quite a while, but you could only buy it through the filmmakers. All right, next up, Nightmare. This will be on Shudder tomorrow. And this has to do with a couple moving into a new house, and the wife, it's always the wife, she is having a sleep demon, essentially, that is plaguing her life. And is it a dream or is it real? So that one is from Norway and will be on Shudder tomorrow. Okay, also on the 29th, supposedly this is getting a limited theatrical run, but it is also getting a VOD release on the 3rd of October. So only 4 days later, if this is something you're interested in. And this is called The Jester. This one is, you know, some malevolent entity who is stalking this small town on Halloween night. It actually kind of gives me Satan's Little Helper vibes just from the mask and the, you know, the setting, but I don't know. And that's actually a fairly overlooked movie that is much better than one would expect from the budget. But yeah, The Jester. Not really sure what to expect from that one, but I'm sure I'll check it out. All right. Now, one I missed that was also on the 29th, I apologize, is The Exorcists. And this stars Doug Bradley. Stars, I doubt. But he does play one of the exorcists in the movie. Max von Sydow, who was in The Exorcist, who is, you know, the main exorcist in the original Exorcist movie. He is not in the movie a ton because he doesn't come towards the end. So that could be the same thing here with Doug Bradley. But this is, of course, trying to capitalize on the excitement and the buzz around Exorcist Believer. So I'm sure this is some kind of asylum knockoff thing. But hey, all exorcism films are basically the same thing to me, so I'm sure this one will be no different. Jumping back up a little, but even before, because I also missed one here on the 2nd, called Appendage. Now, this one is coming to Hulu, and Hulu has been having some real treats as of late, with No One Will Save You being currently, possibly, my favorite horror film of the year as it sets right now. They've also had Prey, Clock, and the Sebastian Stan one that I'm completely blanking on right now. Fresh. There it is. I guess it wasn't fresh in my mind. But this one is a body horror. It does have the comedy horror label on Hulu from the trailer. It looks definitely like more horror and maybe a dark comedy. But this is about a girl who's starting to grow something out of her body as her own self-doubts consume her. So kind of almost has like a Malignant vibe, or any kind of body horror where someone is having changes happening to their body that they don't want and it's affecting their life. That's stuff that I find to be genuinely unsettling, and I am heavily looking forward to this. I had no clue this was coming out until I started making this list about 20 minutes ago. So I'm still like, in the process of like processing it. In the process of processing it. I'm in the process of learning how to speak, I guess. But yeah, this looks super cool to me. And Hulu has had movies every time they come out of absolutely nowhere. They don't promote their stuff at all, except for Prey, because that was a Predator movie. But outside of that, I feel like Hulu just drops horror movies out of nowhere, and a lot of them are actually really good. So good on them for that. All right, moving on back to the 3rd, we have The Mean One. This is a Grinch horror movie starring David Thornton, who plays Art the Clown from Terrifier. I've heard nothing but terrible about this one, so I'm not expecting to like this at all. It is honestly shocking to me that they didn't save this for a Christmas VOD release as opposed to but I guess they're trying to double dip, which I guess makes sense, right? Mostly horror fans are going to want to watch this, and most people are only going to want to watch horror movies around Halloween. So I guess it makes sense, but you're not going to have a lot of competition in the horror genre during Christmas releasing a Christmas-themed horror movie, especially one with a now recognizable name and the Grinch IP. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think they should have waited till December, or should they have released this now? I'm not really looking forward to this one from what I've heard, but I'm sure I eventually will check it out. So you've got that on the 3rd. All right. Also on the 3rd, we are finally getting the VOD release of Don't Look Away. This was something I mentioned maybe 3 weeks ago, that it was coming to a limited theatrical. But this is finally getting the VOD release. Now, this is the Killer Doll movie that looks pretty cool and has It Follows vibes to it if you watch the trailer. So something I'm absolutely looking forward to, and I can't wait to watch it. I won't be watching a lot of these until next week because we are going to the Halloween convention on Friday, and we'll be in LA with my kids. So we will have zero time to watch any horror until Monday, probably, when we get back. So that sucks, but it is what it is. All right. Also, much like The Mean One, taking a IP that is meant for children and making it into horror, much like Winnie the Pooh, we have Mary Had a Little Lamb. Yep, a Mary Had a Little Lamb. From what I can tell by the poster, a slasher movie? I don't know. They're really taking these like kid stories, these like Mother Goose type things, and making them into horror movies now. This is funny. This is funny. But hey, who knows? Maybe it could be good. Probably isn't. But there you go. All right, and lastly, on the 4th, on Disney Plus, we are getting The Haunted Mansion. So that was in theaters about a month and a half, 2 months ago. I saw it with my kids. I had a good time. I enjoyed it. It's fun for the family. It's definitely not for you horror fanatics out there who are like, I only like R-rated, hardcore, gore-filled, nudity, laced films. No, no, no. This is a playful horror comedy for kids. Me, my kids, everyone I was with had a good time. So if you're looking for like more of a family-friendly thing this week, you got The Haunted Mansion on Disney Plus here in about 5 days. So there you go. That's everything I could find. No TV series, no video games. If you can find anything and you want to drop them in the comments below, that would be much appreciated. Obviously, I can't find absolutely everything, but I definitely always am thankful for somebody who brings to my attention something I may have missed, because I can't find it all. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you next week.